Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Maiers, along with Ricky Johnson. We're at the Hampton Coliseum in Hampton, Virginia. Excitement is in the air. Another sellout crowd for Arenacross. RJ, it makes me tingle.
There's a lot of things going on here tonight. The track is tight, the track is tacky, and we got a great crowd.
You mentioned the track. I'm going to take a look at a certain portion of that track that last night, in the first night of racing, gave us fits.
Look at the tractor up at the top of your screen. There's a triple coming out of that turn. They're building a berm for tonight. Last night, it gave the riders a lot of problems. Tonight, I think it's going to do the same thing. This ground is sticky, Larry.
Sticky ground for round 16 of the series, and that marks the midway point. And we're going to take a look at some of the action that has taken place to get us where we are. Season's open in Des Moines, Iowa. Arenacross fans met a brand new player, Pedro Gonzalez.
Pedro has been a dominant Mexican champion around West Coast Supercross last year, and he's a great addition to Arenacross.
Oh yeah, I got a pretty good race. Like you say, I got a whole shit, and then I got passed by Grayson, and I passed him back, and I kind of like, it was like a long race, but it went quick, so I was kind of trying to play safe, and it worked out, so I came out with the first place.
Rounds 9 and 10, Fort Worth, Texas. Buddy Antunez came into that event as the points leader, but this guy won 3 in a row. He's trying to make it a sweep to take over the points lead.
Buddy Antunez, number 1, and Denny Stephenson, number 3, best friends, teammates. They're racing hard with each other, and they're both going for a championship, but they are not going to take each other out, Larry.
Well, that said, we'll watch some of the upcoming action, and you tell me if what we'll see in the whoops is a takeout or not. At this point, it's the greatest race that we have seen all year. Antunez diving underneath. Now comes the whoop section and the controversial call.
Keep your eye on number 3. He bounces into number 1, sends Buddy Antunez onto the hay bales. Buddy ends up coming back and winning that race.
But the weekend belongs to Denny Stephenson.
This is the kind of racing that I've been wanting to have with Buddy. You know, Buddy is one of my best friends, and you thrive in competition with your friends. And this is what it was about. You know, I had a good clean race with Josh earlier tonight, and I knew that I had some lines to make some things happen, and we didn't need to bump to make the moves, and we could do it good, clean fun. And like I said, these gloves aren't off between us. We want to put Suzuki 1 and 2, and if it has to come down to that the last race, then we'll rub some paint.
On to Guthrie, Oklahoma, where Buddy Antunez would reclaim the points lead in the third and the second the first night. Now, final race of the weekend, another star is introduced.
Number 46 is Josh Demuth. He's been injured earlier this year. This is his first race back in Arenacross. He runs a strong race against Buddy. You can watch him here. He's great under braking. Gets to the outside brakes, squares off the turn, and he takes the position away from the Arenacross champion.
He went on to take that win, his first win, of course, of the season, and that leads us to Baltimore, Maryland, 1 week ago, and the Suzuki teammates at it one more time, and another fine pass on the part of Antunez.
Buddy Antunez flexing his muscle. This week, he takes 3 of the 4 main events and extends his lead for the championship.
And that leads us to last night here in Hampton. Denny Stephenson is the leader. Behind him, paint rubbing.
Pay attention to the next right-hand turn. Buddy Antunez with 1 on his jersey clips the back wheel of Josh Demuth, loses a spot, and Demuth also loses a spot to Greg Rand.
And that set up some pretty darn good racing here at this Hampton track. This is a battle for third place. Pedro Gonzalez was out of it in the early going. He was back at 7th or 8th place, but he has moved all the way up to 3rd, while Demuth and Willoh are fighting over scraps.
Brand new teammates, and these guys are going at it really hard. Josh Demuth moving into 4th place and now trying to gain back some time on Pedro Gonzalez.
Stevenson is still out front, followed by Buehl. This is the battle for 6th, and Antunez is about to make another mistake.
Double-double. Buddy comes up short with his ground as sticky as it is. It stops his bike and throws his body up over the handlebars, losing his spot to Rand.
Now, while all of that was going on, Pedro Gonzalez had passed Jeromy Buehl. So now the situation is number 3 is your leader, number 49, Gonzalez, in 2nd place. Number 3 is Stevenson, and it gets real interesting this last lap.
Denny Stephenson, number 3, has led this race from the start, and he has not been challenged. But now Pedro Gonzalez making a charge of the last lap. Sometimes the rider will go into a protective mode. Pay attention to Pedro Gonzalez goes to a double-double. Denny goes to the inside. Pedro a little bump. Denny takes a mental note of it and protects the line all the way to the finish line.
And with that checkered flag, it was win number 7 on the season for Denny Stephenson, followed by Gonzales, Josh, Jeromy, and Buddy. Now that was the 125 class. These are the 250s. Willoh out front, Antunez in second.
Lots coming up on the right-hand turn. Jeff Willoh to the inside, a little too hard on the gas, loses the back end. Buddy Antunez, great drive, puts himself into the lead.
He could have put a truck through that hole had he wanted to. So major mistake on the part of Willoh, and it would remain that way for Buddy Antunez. Gonzales finished second. Willoh drops back to third. Then Josh Demuth, Mike Caton. Here are the point standings. Greg is with Buddy.
Hey, guys, you bet I'm with the reigning series champ, Buddy Antunez. Buddy, you started the season off with an injury. You won a couple races, but then now we're in the mid-stroke of the season, and you are absolutely killing these guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You know, I came in with a torn rotator cuff at the beginning of the season, and I just tried to get a couple wins under my belt for Suzuki and Vinny. And about 3 weeks before, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to race. Couldn't lift my arm above my shoulder. And, you know, I just hammered out the first 4, got to the break, got a little bit more healing, and came back, and my shoulder's been getting stronger and stronger every weekend. My Suzuki's running better and better, and you know, I can't ask for something better right now. Just I'm feeling good.
Well, he's doing the business, folks, and when we come back, we're going to see if Buddy can make it 3 out of 4, just like he did last week in Baltimore, so stay tuned.
Odor protection kills odors, protects guys. Hey, and welcome back to Hampton. National Arenacross Series, first heat of the night in the 125 class. Top 4 go to the main, and this is a highlight of what happened. A little bobble back there as Buddy Antunez grabs the whole shot, but has it taken away, Rick.
Jeromy Buehl squeaks to the inside. This track, like we talked earlier, is real tacky. A lot of traction on the inside of these turns, so Jeromy Buehl getting by the defending champion, Buddy Antunez.
And Buehl, who has not had a stellar season so far, looks good in this heat race.
Jeromy Buehl is finally getting into his groove. He was one of the dominant riders last year, but he's had trouble, you know, some injuries and things. He hasn't been real comfortable, but it looks like he's found his speed.
We'll break away from that battle out front and go back to the start where I mentioned that a rider bobbled. Now that rider is Denny Stephenson, and we'll see him right about in the center of the gate.
Number 3, you can see he gets pinched between Caton 52 and Ran 5. It knocks his hand off the handlebar, and he falls way to the back, and he has to gather everything back up and get going.
Back to the race at hand. Jeromy Buehl leads, Buddy Antunez in second. Now, they're pretty tight up front, Rick. Would Buddy be protecting his line from Rand, or is he worried about making a pass?
Well, Buddy typically likes to win at every chance that he can because it gives you a better start on the gate. But he does have to keep in mind that Greg Rand has been pushing him very close, and Rand's a big guy. You don't want to tangle with him.
Denny Stephenson has worked up to 4th. This is the final lap, and of course 4th place is the final qualifying position. So he has the matter in hand. We'll turn our attention to what happens between these two guys. Buehl out front. There's a yellow flag indicating a rider's down. They have to move over to get out of that line.
Buddy Antunez takes one last shot at it, but Jeromy Buehl protecting his line, and it's Jeromy Buehl that takes the win.
And he deserves the spotlight. Buehl, Antunez, Rand, and Stephenson go to the main. Greg White goes to winner's circle to be with Jeromy.
Buddy Antunez couldn't put much more pressure on you than that.
Now, I'll tell you what, he was right on my donkey every step of the way. Buddy wasn't allowing me to make any mistakes, and fortunately, I rode one of the best heat races I've had all year. You know, I rode good, and the track's really tight tonight. I was able to get the whole shot, and my Carrollton Pro Circuit Kawasaki was working great.
I thought he said he was on a donkey.
Well, that was Buddy that was on a donkey, so we got cows and donkeys.
Here's the way they qualify. 4, 5, and 2 from the heat, semi, and last chance qualifier. That leaves us with the main event. 15 riders in that main. Now, Greg White has found an Arenacross celebrity.
Yeah, I'm with perhaps the most well-known arena crosser out there, Mad Mike Jones. Now, Jones, you've been injured this first part of the season. We haven't seen you race. So what are you doing here this weekend?
Well, actually, I come out to help out mainly Pedro Gonzalez and, of course, Jeromy Buehl, Mike Caton, and Greg Rand now back on Kawasaki's. I want to help my teammates get in the winner's circle, and especially want to get Pedro, Speedy Gonzalez with a championship win, hopefully, this series.
When are we going to see you back in action?
I started riding again. I broke my neck and my back last August. That's why I haven't been competing. I hope to be back probably last 4 or 5 rounds of the Arenacross Series. I definitely miss it. I mean, I miss the crowd. I miss the racing and the bumping bars, but I'll be back.
Well, we can't wait to see you back in action. They don't call him Mad Mike Jones for nothing. Back up to you guys in the booth.
And just in time for highlights from heat race number 2. This one gets interesting quick as several riders going into this corner, mixing it up, changing positions. But the real story in heat race number 2 belongs to triples and doubles and a guy on a brand new motorcycle.
Josh Demuth, you're right, Larry is on a brand new motorcycle and he's carrying a lot of speed. Pedro's out in front, got the whole shot, so he's running a protective line. But watch number 46. He's using the outsides, he's carrying momentum. Like we talked earlier, that this track is real tacky and sticky, so you've got to keep your speed up to clear these jumps.
Now, coming up, we'll show you what we mean. There's going to be a place here where Josh is going to do this triple right here.
Goes to the outside, carries the speed, does a triple-double, carrying in the momentum. Now watch this next section. Pedro Gonzalez to the inside, protecting his line, doesn't get the run that he needs, comes up short on the big double, and Josh Demuth goes into the lead.
Josh Demuth and Pedro are both very, very strong riders. They're able to manipulate the motorcycle through the whoops and hold on to them. We're about even there, but right now, I think the jumping skills go to Josh, and that's been the story of this race.
But now you watch, Josh switched his lineup a little bit, started going to the insides to protect him. But we get another look at this. Pedro just doesn't get a run, tries to extend the motorcycle. You can see the speed that Demuth has, clears the jump, and away he goes.
So Josh Demuth is out front. 4 riders will qualify. Watch what happens to Doug Dean, rider number 12. He'll not qualify.
Same situation with the track. His front wheel starts to push a little bit, then the tacky ground grabs it, throws him into the hay bed.
Spotlight on Josh Demuth, y'all, as he heads for the checkered flag and wins heat race number 2 quite handily with Pedro Gonzalez right behind him. But he knows that he has been in a battle. That's just an excellent ride on the part of both riders. They will go into the main event. Those 4 will go to Greg Wright.
Josh, first weekend on this Honda.
Yeah, I can't believe it. You know, Thor Tough Hondas really put a good package together. Pro Circuit, you know, they have my suspension working really good. And, I mean, my motors are incredible. I can't ask for any more.
Nor could Brad Woolsey from the performance of his motorcycle, RJ.
In semi number 1, Brad Woolsey carrying a lot of speed. You can see he's got a big lead. He pretty much had this race to himself, but the race for second was a different story.
So Brad Woolsey, if he wanted to watch that great entertainment behind him, would need to turn around on one of the triples. He would see Michael Martin, Kevin Bratsky, Jeromy Reisenberg, and Mike Payton going at it.
These guys are going back and forth. We got local boys, we got guys that haven't been running the whole series, and we got Michael Payton, who's been here for a while, so he's an old hat at Arenacross.
But Martin is out front. He's number 24. Kevin Brodsky is going to make a statement in this one, number 727.
Brodsky gets a great run down the whoop, but it's Martin that flinches in the turn, and Brodsky goes into second place.
Top 5 riders going to the main. Woolsey is out front all alone. Behind him, the battle raged all the way to the finish line. Rider number 410, Travis Hodges, put in an appearance at the last minute and nosed out Jeromy Reisenberg. All that was left was the last chance qualifier in the 125cc class. Only 2 riders would make it into the main. Brian Piccarelli will take the win. And remember Reisenberg? Well, he came in second, so that puts him and his Honda into the main event. 125cc main will be coming your way when we come back.
The King, 6-time Supercross champion Jeromy McGrath. The quest, a 7th record-shattering title. The competition, the best riders in Supercross history. Toyota Trucks presents EA Sports Supercross. The finals, May 6th, live, only in pay-per-view. It's your front row seat to watch the most elite riders in the game fight for the Supercross title. Supercross, the finals, Saturday, May 6th, live on pay-per-view.
Coverage of Arenacross. The gate is getting ready to drop for this 125cc main event. Now, the guy that's been impressive through the Sunstar Sweeper all weekend long is Greg Rand. Greg, what are your chances of winning this 125cc main event tonight?
Well, we had a pretty good fast lap. I got second fastest to my teammate Pedro Gonzalez, and had a decent heat race. We're out here on the outside, but it's going to take a real good jump in the hole shot here because it's kind of hard to pass and staying strong for 16 laps.
Well, that's the word from Greg Rand, and the word from this Greg, I'm going with Buddy Antunez to win it all. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Ricky, Greg White just loves to go out on a limb, doesn't he?
He's a thrill seeker, taking the 3-time national champion to win, but Josh Demuth and Jeromy Buehl both looking strong tonight. Josh on that new Honda and Jeromy Buehl finding his stride.
As we check the rest of the starting lineup, I would say that we're just so happy to have Josh get that Honda ride. Until that came up, he was about to leave the series. He was on a privateer Yamaha, and I think that his time with Arenacross was going to be short. We're just about set to drop the gate on the first main event of the night, the 125cc class. A 250 will follow, and we are down, and it's Buddy Antunez out of the center of the pack, but he will not get the whole shot.
Pedro comes around and muscles his way in the front, and Jeromy Buehl sneaks around the inside, but he does not make the pass stick. Pedro gets a great run off, and they choose to do the double-double because they're protecting themselves this early on in the race.
Buddy Antunez tries to get underneath Jeromy Buehl. He was there for just an instant. It did not work. He backed off. He does not want those two front runners to get ahead of him. Mad Mike Jones said he was here to help the Kawasaki guys, and wow, he has done his job.
Got Kawasaki 1 and 2. Jeromy Buehl, like I said earlier, has found his stride, but Buddy Antunez is sizing these guys up, and he knows that he has a lot of time.
Oh, and a collision coming off that jump as the two get together, Buehl and Antunez. And that allows Josh Demuth to gain some ground, and now he and Antunez are side by side. Antunez looked over in the air and said, "Not that way, buddy."
Well, Josh Demuth is running really strong, and he says he likes the power and the suspension of this Honda, and he continues to run the outside and carry more momentum than the other riders.
I believe, Ricky, that he is able to go deep and cut back under a rider better than anyone out here, and I'm talking about Josh Demuth.
Josh Demuth has done it race after race where he can get into the turns, drive deeper, and brake harder, and square the turn up, and he usually does his passing on the exits.
Buddy Antunez, Josh Demuth, they're battling over third place. That corner, there's a sweeping corner here where Demuth continually is going wide. It'll be coming up about a half a lap from now, and I'd like you to comment on that, Ricky, because he is really going fast.
Josh continues, and I keep saying it, to run the outsides and carry momentum. With a track this sticky, if you don't clear the jumps, it almost brings you to a standstill. And Josh right there, railing the outside. Riders will take two choices, either the inside, which is a little slower, but it's a shorter distance, or rail the outside, like Josh Demuth, that does the triple and gets by Buddy Antunez.
And he has, speaking of Antunez, his hands full with Demuth, and I think he's spending more time right now worrying about his defensive position than he is over catching Jeromy Buehl, who is running into number 2 position.
Good observation, Larry. You pick one or two modes. Typically be aggressive and pass the guy in front of you, or protect your line.
Buddy Antunez is in the pass mode right now, as it looked like Buehl might have bobbled there slightly. For some reason, he just almost like he was standing still, and Buddy sailed by him.
Well, what happened was Buddy went for the triple and gained a lot of ground on Jeromy. He did make a little bit of a mistake, but it wasn't monumental. Buddy just carried a lot more speed.
Pedro Gonzalez is way out front. This is second place, rider number 1, Buddy Antunez. Third place is Buehl. Oh, no. It's no longer Buehl. It is Josh Demuth. Josh Demuth took over third.
Exact same pass as the lap before. Jeromy just stuck on doing double-doubles, and those guys both passed it.
And it is hurting him. He's going to have to change that line, or he'll go further back.
Bigger rush.
Welcome back to round 16 of the National Arenacross Series, coming to you from the Hampton Coliseum in Hampton, Virginia. Pedro Gonzalez is the leader. He got the whole shot and split, followed by Buddy Antunez and Josh Demuth. Both of those riders have worked around Jeromy Buehl to take the second and third position, and Buehl is back to fourth.
Pedro has not been challenged this whole race. He's getting into a rhythm, but these two riders, number 1, Buddy Antunez, and number 46, Josh Demuth, are carrying a lot of speed in their catching. And if you notice right here, they're both jumping the triple and then the double, so they're going to be making a little ground. Pedro doesn't change up his lines. These guys are going to be on him within a couple laps.
This is the battle for fourth place. Jeromy Buehl has dropped back that far and now is being pursued by Denny Stephenson. And Stephenson would have an opportunity to use that same move if he chooses to do. He's not done the triple yet tonight, but if he chooses to do so, it would be an excellent passing opportunity back in front. Pedro Gonzalez now working through traffic.
Right now, this is a rider, his work. He's trying to get through the lap riders, trying not to lose time, but Pedro seems to be cutting through the traffic very quick, and he's running that outside like you talked about earlier. He's taking the long route with more speed.
Pedro Gonzalez looking for another win to close the points gap between himself and points leader Buddy Antunez. And boy, he's putting that Kawasaki in and out of traffic like it's almost difficult to believe.
But Pedro's running really strong, getting through the riders, but Buddy Antunez is getting to him equally as fast. So one small mistake by Pedro Gonzalez, and he's going to have to deal with Buddy Antunez.
Now, Pedro knows that Buddy is back there. They use pit boards or pit signs. Every time he goes around, his mechanic will hold out the board that tells him just what is going on. And there's Buddy Antunez working his way around Travis Hodges. And whoa, boy, Buddy is really mixing it up.
Well, the situation with Buddy is right now, it's one step forward and two steps back. He makes some ground and then a lapper gets in his way, but he is consistently in open air making ground on Pedro Gonzalez.
And in third place, there's Josh Demuth, rider number 46. Now, Buddy does not want to lose any more places, obviously, but gosh, I think he's maybe being a little on the risky side for being involved in a point chase.
Well, different guys do different things. I always like to race every lap as fast as I can, so I'm aware of what's going on. But right here, Pedro Gonzalez with the spotlight on him, and Buddy Antunez in hot pursuit.
Buddy is not about to give up. He took that run way into the corner, very, very deep. Got a good, strong drive coming out, looking for something to happen, and that set of jumps, it just was not there. He'll have one more opportunity right here, and he's going to come up short as the checkered flag goes to Pedro Gonzalez. Antunez comes across the line in second. Then it was Demuth. And here comes Denny Stephenson, who did pass Jeromy Buehl. And he'll finish fourth. And Buehl comes over the line in fifth. Let's go back to the start. This is what wins us for Pedro.
Pedro with the white arrow in front of him gets a good gate. Keeps the bike straight all the way down into the first turn. Pedro's been struggling with starts all year long. We've been wondering what's going to happen if Pedro gets a whole shot. That's evident. Comes home first place, Larry.
Well, hopefully for the Pedro camp, there'll be many, many more. When we come back, Greg White will talk to the winner. Every day. So here in Hampton, it was Pedro Gonzalez romping home the winner in the 125cc class, and he did it with a very impressive ride.
Yeah, guys, a real impressive ride. How'd it go?
Oh, excellent. What else can I say? I mean, I got an excellent start. I got the whole shot. You know, you've been seeing every week in my starts every week. But, you know, today on the 125, I've been feeling real good on the starts. You know, Mike Jones has been helping me a lot. And, you know, so happy.
Towards the end of the race, Buddy was putting some pressure on you.
Oh, yeah, big time. You know, there's a lappers getting all of them in the way. But, you know, we're riding the same track, so I get the same for everybody. And it was a good race.
So with a win, Pedro will pick up a couple of points over Antunez, but he needs more than that.
Yeah, he does. He needs to keep that roll going. But Josh Demuth, very impressive on that new Honda.
Extremely impressive. Let's go to winner's circle where Greg White is with Buddy.
Buddy, a tough start for you, but you reeled him in at the end of that race.
Yeah, you know, I got into a really good groove. My Suzuki was working great out there around the track. RG3 suspension was hooking up really good in these ruts, and I just put my head down and tried making the best race out of it I could, and was trying to make a charge there at the end. And I'm happy to come out with second. I sure would have liked to win, maybe one more lap, but we'll never know. And right now, Pedro won, and I'm just happy to put my Suzuki up here on the podium. Bill's Pipe, Axo, Motorists.com. Ed Lonker did a great job tuning on it.
Over the second place in the points right now, you've gapped them.
Yeah, you know, that's the main objective, is to keep pushing towards the series and win the war. And that's the main objective, and hopefully we'll put Suzuki on top for another season, and we're looking good.
Great job.
Thanks a lot.
Another guy looking good was Josh Demuth. He looked good out on the racetrack. He looked good on that Honda, and the guy looks really good, all dressed in red.
Josh, what a great race for you tonight.
Yeah, it was really great. You know, the crowd was behind me, and, you know, my Thor Parts Unlimited Tough Honda out there in front. Poster had a good package for me with the suspension and the motors, and everybody else, you know, I got my own company, JD LCI, that's helping me out, and, you know, Casey Cycle Center helped me out this weekend, too. Everybody that's helped me, my mechanic Dan, and my aunt and uncle came to watch me this weekend, and this is for my mom and dad at home, too.
Well, great job. Guys, some great racing in the 125 class. I can't wait for the 250 race.
Nor can I, Greg, but you're going to have to. We're going to take a look at the 65cc action that took place here in Hampton. Always exciting. Rider number 89 is about to uncork some kind of a mini bike jump. Look at that.
Unbelievable. Sean Hackley is a strong 60 rider out of Pennsylvania. It was pretty much his show, wire to wire.
Outstanding performance there, Sean. Hey, when we come back, the 250s take to the track. Earlier we mentioned that Josh Demuth had a new ride with Tough Pro Circuit. What does it mean to him as a rider?
You know, I get my meals paid for and everything, and entry fees, and you know, the best stuff that you can get on a bike. You know, Pro Circuit, Tough, Seat, Sunstar. You know, all those guys. The bikes are great. Thor, they're helping me out a bunch too. So I've got all the good people backing me now. I just got to prove to them I'm worth it.
Larry, I had the same situation in 1986 when I switched from Yamaha to Honda. You want to show everybody that they made the right decision, and they did in Josh Demuth. Look in the first turn, he holds the inside, very smart move, and walks away with the whole shot.
Yeah, and watch the confrontation in this next corner.
Demuth on the brakes. Jeromy Buehl gets pinched in there from the front and the back. Travis Hodges gets into the back of him, and Buehl goes back 3 spots.
And he thought that he was coming out of this one with a good start. So it is Demuth up front, and it is Greg Rand in second, then Travis Hodges, and then along comes Jeromy Buehl.
Jeromy Buehl looking real impressive here on this track. Was strong in the 125. Had a great hole shot right here. Passes Travis Hodges for 3rd place. So Buehl is definitely the man on the move.
Buehl has struggled throughout the season adapting to that Kawasaki, and it's only been the last 2-3 races where he has showed anything at all, and tonight probably the best that I have seen him ride.
Looks very comfortable. Last year he was one of the top guys here, so he knows what it takes to win an arena cross, and he's been around racing for a long time, and I think finally he's feeling comfortable on that Kawasaki.
Mike Caton, number 52, is chasing Travis Hodges, number 410. But first, let's take a look at this pass.
Jeromy just got a great run on Travis to the inside, is able to stop him this time and not hit the back of Rand's bike and pull off that pass for 3rd place.
And I was about to say that he was stopped because he did hit Rand's bike. As the white flag comes out, I was saying that Travis Hodges was in 4th place. He was being chased by King for the final transfer position. White flag, last lap, you're going to do some business. You got to do it now, but mainly you want to keep it upright.
Everybody's spread out, but like you say, you got to focus on getting to the finish line. Really, nothing's going to happen unless you make a big mistake at this point for any of these guys, so it's focus on getting to the finish line.
Now, 7:27, Kevin Brodsky was a lapper. He was not in that mix, as Demuth with a heel clicker takes the checkered flag, followed by Rand, Buehl, and Hodges. In that order, they go to the main. Second heat race, and it is Jeff Willoh, rider number 4, out front. You had mentioned earlier how soft this racetrack is, and those ruts are prime, I think, examples of the indication you were trying to give us.
Yeah, the track it just gets worse and worse as you go, especially with the 250s, but Jeff Willoh really strong in this 250 heat.
He takes the win, followed by Denny Stephenson, then Buddy Antunez and Pedro Gonzalez. So all of the heavy hitters are in the main. Still, though, Rick, there are 7 riders to select their positions. 5 of them will come from this, the semifinal. Heading into corner number 1, and we have some unknown riders up there, or guys that generally are not associated with the front of the pack.
Well, Jeromy Riesenberg gets a great start, but Jim Chester, who's a veteran, comes in. Riesenberg gets pushed out and goes back 5 spots. This guy continually is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Right here, runs into the back of Martin, goes back a few more spots.
Brad Woolsey manages to work his way through that pack very effectively, take over the front runner's position, and Chester, using all of his wiles and experience, is holding down 2nd place. Again, the battle to watch is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back, because those are the riders that make it into the main. That's where the cutoff point is.
A lot of times we look here, continual bad luck for Riesenberg. He comes in here, Brodsky goes down, Riesenberg catches his back wheel, continually the wrong place at the wrong time.
Have you ever been there?
Many times. Many times.
This is the battle for the number 2 position. Woolsey has checked out. Jim Chester is in 2nd. Doug DeHaan wants that position. They're going to fight all the way to the checkered flag, and it's a good one.
These guys are going tooth and nail. They're trying to get every little bit, and DeHaan goes for the triple and gets by Chester.
And Chester, though, rails to the inside and keeps DeHaan out there. You can see him give a little shake of the head. Darn, I thought I had him passed. Headed for the checkered flag, and it's going to be Chester collecting the runner-up position. And DeHaan finishing third. Caton and Piccarelli, all of those riders go to the main, so nothing lost there in that fight. And the last chance qualifier, RJ, remember those two guys we said were in the wrong place at the wrong time? Well, in the last chance qualifier, they were in the right place at the right time as they make it into the main event. We will have that when we come back, the 250 main.
Welcome back to Hampton, Virginia. We are getting ready to start this 250cc main event. I'm with Mad Mike Jones, who's been working with Pedro Gonzalez, the winner of the 125cc race. You've been working with him on starts. It sure paid dividends.
Yeah, I got 2 hole shots tonight in the 125, both qualifier and the main event. He did the riding, but I'll take a little bit of the credit for the start, and I just want to get the Kawasaki riders up front as best I can.
Well, Mike, what are your predictions for this 250cc race?
I want to see all the Kawasaki riders up front, of course, but Pedro's in the running for the championship, and I got to go with Speedy Gonzalez for sure.
All right, Mad Mike Jones goes for Speedy Gonzalez. I'm going for the guy who qualified #1, Josh Demuth. Guys?
I will check out the Speed Stick Ultimate starting lineup while I remind you, RJ, that didn't Greg just pick Buddy Antunez in the 125 class, a national champ, then he comes back in the 250 class with the #1 qualifier? Me? I'm going with Kevin Brodsky.
And I'll take 884, Jeromy Riesenberg. I think he got all the bad luck out of his way.
Good point. Gate is just about set to drop in this 250cc class. This is one of the most exciting times in motorsports. You know what's running through their minds.
Well, with number 49, Pedro Gonzalez won the 125 main event tonight, trying to pull a sweep. So right now he's trying to focus on what he's got to get done to get to that first turn first.
Well, he has the benefit of Mad Mike Jones coaching him, and we'll see how it works out. The guy that got there first, though, is rider number 4, Jeff Willoh, and there's Denny Stephenson. They're alongside as they go through that section of whoops. And who comes out first but Stephenson, and he'll have the point position, followed by Willoh, then Antunez, and here comes Pedro Gonzalez. So things are working well for the Mexican champ.
Yeah, Pedro salvaged a good start of that, but typically we've seen that at this track, that the person to the first turn doesn't necessarily walk away with the whole shot. It's the guy on the inside that controls the line like Denny Stephenson did that puts him in first place.
And we had a quick look at rider number 46, Josh Demuth, who was running in 5th place. We'll keep our eye on him and see if he can work up. He's side by side right now with Pedro Gonzalez. And here is 2nd place. Buddy Antunez moves into that slot. Boy, we have seen this a time or two this year. The 2 Suzukis out front chasing each other.
Well, and that's what they've been trying to do with this points chase, is distance themselves from Pedro Gonzalez. And then later on, they've said, the last couple races, the gloves are coming off. So right now, let's see if that gentleman's agreement stands.
Pedro Gonzalez trying to move around the outside of Travis Hodges. He gets a good line, a good drive, but Travis is not giving up, not giving way, and oh, he had to give way there.
Pedro's been running real aggressive, and he's got the taste in his mouth of victory. He just won on the 125, so now he's trying to get himself through traffic as quick as possible and not let Denny and Buddy get too far away from him.
I believe, Ricky, that he has the ability to get through traffic as well as anyone I've ever seen out here.
But yeah, that's right, Larry, but number 46, Josh Demuth, is now right up behind Pedro and is running a lot faster than anybody else on this track.
And Greg Rand gives a little nudge to one of his fellow competitors, and as you pointed out, we could be looking at a real strong battle between those 2 riders, Demuth and Pedro Gonzalez.
The battle for 7th is, of course, we can see Greg Rand and Jeromy Buehl. Those riders are starting to fall off the pace just a little bit. You might be seeing a little bit of fatigue. This is the 2nd day and the 2nd race of the 2nd day, so fatigue could be playing a factor.
It could be, but, you know, I have to think, Ricky, that they're used to it. We're talking about, 16 rounds into the season as we take a look at Denny Stephenson, and all of these guys at this time of the year, unless they're physically hurt, should be physically able to maintain this pace.
Yes, that's true, Larry. But now we're taking a look at Denny Stephenson, who's riding real protective lines. Notice he's almost hugging the inside of the hay bales. And Buddy Antunez running a little bit different line, but not too much different. He's going wide on some areas but the guys that are moving forward is right there, Josh Demuth and also Pedro Gonzalez.
So Demuth has gotten around Gonzales, and you called that one. I thought Gonzales was the guy on the move, but boy, he has been overshadowed in the early going here by Josh Demuth.
This is the first time this year that someone has manhandled, passed, and rode away from Pedro Gonzalez. He's typically gotten real bad starts and come from the back and has always been, well, if he had a couple more laps, he would win. But now it looks like Josh Demuth is the rider that is the quickest guy on the track.
Jeff Willoh, rider number 4, has struggled in these opening laps, Ricky. He was in 3rd place, and he was displaced by both Gonzales and Josh Demuth, and he just doesn't look too smooth.
Well, Jeff Willoh crashed in the jump contest, so he's probably a little sore from that, but also Willoh has had some big crashes this year. Earlier, missing some races due to a punctured lung and some broken ribs. A couple weeks ago at Baltimore, he crashed really hard in the 250 main and wasn't able to finish, so he's nursing some injuries, Larry.
On the other side of the fence, rider number 410, Travis Hodges, has started to come on the last few races, and he is getting stronger and stronger. We watch this battle for 7th place. Jeromy Buehl is rider number 2. Greg Rand, rider number 5. A pair of Kawasaki's going at it.
Well, he puts you in a tough spot, Larry. You're racing against your teammate, and you're trying to work your way up. And sometimes you got to muscle your way around the guy, but you don't want to take him out because, once again, he is your teammate.
If Bob Hanna and you were out there and you were teammates, would you take Hanna out?
Definitely. Every chance I got.
And we'll be back with more 250 racing right after this.
Whatever life throws your way,
Hey, welcome back to Hampton, Virginia. National Championship Arenacross Series is underway. You're watching the 250 main event. And look at this battle between rider number 46, Josh Demuth, and Antunez. And Demuth almost flipped a lapper, and that would have helped considerably, as this man, Denny Stephenson, is the leader, and those two guys are chasing him.
I don't think Buddy even knew Demuth was there. Buddy was working on chasing down Denny Stephenson, and Demuth came out of nowhere and took over that 2nd place.
Denny Stephenson leads, Josh Demuth in 2nd, and it is the defending champ, Buddy Antunez, holding down 3rd place. And you make a good point there. They do have lap boards, but you don't get to see them every time around.
But the key to this track right now, and I think Josh Demuth has the ticket, is he's using the outside. He's carrying his momentum. Right there, he uses the outside. He loses the drive due to a lapper, but that's where he's gaining his speed, is he's opening up the entry of the turns and carrying his momentum around the outsides.
Well, like all good riders, yourself, those that are out there, he is not following. You can't follow and make a pass. He is going where Denny isn't. Look there, pulling alongside, the two of them now through that whoop section side by side. Demuth will be high, Stephenson low. Stephenson will hold on to his position, but there's that big long triple, and he just triples by Stephenson.
Demuth with doing the same thing. He's sticking to his game plan. He's been fast on the outside, and he's sticking to it. Right there, he caught up to Denny, used the outside, carried the momentum, did the triple, and was able to put himself in a position to protect the line and not let Denny back by.
Interesting here. Buddy Antunez saw all that. Now, will Antunez challenge by taking that line, or will Denny switch and go to the triple? And what am I saying? What am I seeing?
You're seeing exactly right. Buddy Antunez is starting to use Josh Demuth's line. That's why he's the #1 rider on the track, because he learns from a rider. And now Denny Stephenson has to do the same thing. Denny was out in front controlling the race, and now 2 riders are carrying more speed than him. He's got to learn from those riders.
I can tell you a little simpler than that. What Denny Stephenson has to do is get air time. He has got to do that triple if he's going to go anywhere, and Antunez almost comes unglued.
Well, right now, Buddy's is riding very aggressive. You wouldn't think he's a guy trying to protect the points lead. It looks more like Denny Stephenson is a little more conservative, but Buddy's hanging it out. He doesn't like getting passed by Josh Demuth like that because basically Josh controlled him.
Well, I will guarantee you Denny Stephenson does not like to get passed, and he has had it done to him twice on the last couple of laps. And I think he is riding now just a little bit on the, well, reckless side. He doesn't look as smooth as he did earlier. He's trying maybe too hard, if that's possible. And there is Antunez uncorking a long one.
Well, right now they're getting into lap riders, and Demuth is still carrying a lot of speed, but Buddy has adopted pretty much all of Josh's lines, and he is now catching back up to Josh Demuth.
Pedro Gonzalez, currently running in 4th place, is not able really to catch up with anyone. They are going so fast in front of him that all he can do is maintain.
Well, what I think happened to Pedro is that he got caught in the back, and those three riders out front were carrying a ton of momentum, and they just keep working themselves further and further away from Pedro.
2 laps to go. Demuth just blew by Jeromy Buehl as he lapped him. Buddy Antunez did the same thing, and he almost put a stuff on Buehl there, and I think Buehl was just trying to get out of his way.
Unbelievable. Buddy's taking a lot of chances. He's doing the triple every lap, and now you can see he's opening up the turns, and he's going after Demuth. He is not protecting his point lead.
Very valid point, and you and I know as we sit here that he should be, but a racer is a racer is a racer, especially champions, and they're not willing to settle for second place.
Every lap right there, Buddy Antunez goes for the triple again with 2 more turns to go, but Josh Demuth looks very, very strong. I don't think he's going to get him, Larry.
I'll tell you what, there's an outstanding ride on the part of not only Demuth, but Buddy Antunez.
All these riders putting in a great show. Pedro Gonzalez coming in 4th. A little bit distant, probably disappointed after that 125 win, but all in all, a great main event.
Hey, this was a great main event. Josh Demuth, brand new ride on the Honda. Yeah, he says, give me some applause.
Notice Stephenson on the inside, Demuth on the outside, gets the run for the triple, clears the triple, and also puts himself in position to be on the inside to control the pass on the next right-hander. He overshoots the turn a little bit, puts himself up high so Denny can't get another shot on him, and that's how the race ended up.
That was, of course, the pass that gave Josh the lead over Denny Stephenson, and gee, it was just another lap later that Buddy Antunez did the same thing. But is this guy happy or what? Welcome back. Ricky, do you sense maybe the second half of this season with the addition of Demuth and obviously a resurgence by Pedro Gonzalez, do you sense that we're in for some great racing here?
Oh, that's an understatement. With Demuth looking so strong on that Honda, and now with Gonzalez figuring out his starts, I think we're going to see the sparks flying for the last half for sure.
Boy, it should be good. Arena Cross always is, and in particular, when you get good guys that are battling. Josh Demuth, Antunez, Stephenson, Gonzales, Jeff Willoh. Wow, look at that top 5. And even down through the pack, there are some heavy hitters in there that did some outstanding riders. Meanwhile, Greg White has worked his way over to, well, I'd have to say that this is the happiest guy in the U.S. of A.
Guys, that switch to Honda has done you some good.
Oh, man, I love the Hondas. Tough Honda, parts limited. God, those guys are great. I can't, my bikes are so fast, I had a good night, and it really worked out for me, so I'm so happy.
Man, that was one of the most incredible races we've seen.
Man, I come from the back. I knew I had a bad start, and then the 125, it's pretty hard, but 250 got a little extra power. That Pro Circuit motor was just pulling me down this straightaway. I couldn't even keep it on the ground. It was wheeling so much. I just want to give you a hug.
Well, there's my hug. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
RJ, you talked to me real nice, and I'll get a sweaty Josh Demuth up here to hug you.
Well, yeah.
Antunez, Stephenson, Gonzalez, Buehl, Mike Caton. That's the way they stand in the points race. Antunez maintaining and even pulling out a couple here over the weekend. Let's go down to Greg White, who is now with the man of the hour, Buddy Antunez.
Overall, a good night for you.
Yeah, it was a great night, 2-2. That's what I needed to do, and to get this Bill's pipe back, so Motorist.com Suzuki up in their winner circle as much as possible. Would have liked to win that one. I was right there, one little bobble, just a little bit past halfway. Josh got by me. I was back in third, and then was able to make a challenge for the win, though. I think it would have been a good run, but I'm happy with what I got, and we'll take it and go to the next weekend.
Buddy, it seemed that the track conditions deteriorated through the course of the race.
Oh, yeah, the dirt's real soft here, and the track crew did a great job keeping it as well as it is. It's really soft, and it deteriorated, but it makes it to more challenging and more technical. My RG3 suspension was hooking up great through their Dunlop tires. I couldn't ask for a better combination.
A great ride for you.
Thanks a lot.
Speaking of combinations, 46, Josh Demuth, he put together some great ones over this jump.
Well, Josh looked comfortable on the triple. Denny Stephenson, on the other hand, was a little bit more conservative, but he had the most to lose leading that race.
A great race from you. Just a little mistake here, a little mistake there.
Yeah, I never got that triple down really all weekend, and it cost me in the dash, and it cost me there in the main event. I don't really feel comfortable doing something in the middle of a main event that I haven't done all evening, and just wasn't able to put it together. The bikes, we have been messing with suspension tonight. We got the bike really working well. RG3 suspension, the Bill's pipes, Motorist.com, Axo, this whole team really come together to Dunlop tires. I'm not happy with third. I know it's a long series, and you got to take what you can get, but I felt I rode better than that, and but obviously I didn't. So, you know, we'll take what we can, and we'll go into these next rounds. And, you know, I want to thank everybody that helps me so much. I just want to do a good job for them. Sky Goggles, Shoei Helmets, sponsors back home, Danish Inspirations, MCD Clothing, just everybody just trying to do the best job we can.
Well, great job. A disappointed Denny Stephenson tonight, but I know the race fans aren't disappointed. Some great racing from all the top 3 guys.
Well, I certainly was not disappointed in the performance of the riders this evening. We saw, as Greg pointed out, some fantastic racing.
4 main events, 4 different winners. You know, if you were going to write a script, I don't think it could get any better.
Well, it could have got a little bit better if you were Jeff Willoh. We're going to leave you with him hitting the ground in that crash we have mentioned. For Ricky Johnson and for Greg White, I'm Larry Maiers. So long, everyone.